My name is David Madison, the 29th of December 2020, and this is the first episode in a new series of videos I'll be doing for 2021 with the title, Please Stop Calling Him Saint Paul. Sadly, Christianity is stuck with the Apostle Paul. His letters make up a major chunk of the New Testament. Research has shown that most Christians don't read the Bible all that much, and my guess is that Paul's letters are neglected above all else. Christians spend far more time watching TV and sports. If you ask 100 Christians as they come out of church on Sunday morning their opinion of Paul's letter to the Romans, for example, you would get a lot of blank stares. Yet Paul was the first person to write anything about Jesus, well before the Gospels were created. Just how did Paul know anything about Jesus? And here's where the problems begin to pile on. First, Paul never met Jesus. At least there's no record in the New Testament that their paths ever crossed. Second, Paul bragged that he kept his distance from the disciples who had known Jesus, that he didn't learn anything about Jesus from them. In his letter to the Galatians, he wrote this in chapter 1, quote, "For I want you to know, brothers, that the gospel that was proclaimed by me is not of human origin. For I did not receive it from a human source, nor was I taught it, but I received it through a revelation of Jesus Christ," unquote. Oh dear, here's where things get really shaky. Third, he found out about Jesus through revelations, that is his visions. He had visions of a dead man whom he'd never met, who told him things. We call these hallucinations. If your neighbor told you such tales, you'd suspect that he'd skipped his meds. Yet major aspects of Christian theology are based on Paul's hallucinations. That's not a good thing. Fourth, yet for all of his revelations via hallucinations, Paul seems to have known next to nothing about the life, ministry, and teachings of Jesus. He doesn't talk about them in his letters. Paul does mention also in Galatians 1 that he once spent 15 days with Peter in Jerusalem. But what did they talk about, we wonder? Wouldn't Paul have been excited to know about Peter's experience at the empty tomb on Easter morning? Wouldn't he have been excited to know about the transfigurations, to hear about the parables and the teachings of Jesus and the miracles? All those things are missing from Paul's letters. Well, no wonder after all, he bragged that he didn't learn about Jesus from any human source, which gives us all the more reason not to trust his revelations, hallucinations. From what Paul wrote in Romans 13, it would seem that he didn't even know that Jesus was crucified by the Romans. Something is fishy. Fifth, as I will discuss in the upcoming episodes, Paul was wrong, simply wrong, dead wrong about so much. If we presented many of Paul's teachings to devout Christians without mentioning that they are found in the Bible, they would laugh them off. Such silly, wacky stuff. Six, we find so much bad theology, revenge theology in Paul's letters. Far too much of the time he was in a bad mood. And the bad theology is often mingled with magical thinking. 2 years ago, I wrote an article for the Debunking Christianity blog about Mark's gospel titled, "Getting the Gospels Off on the Wrong Foot." We can say as well that Paul got Christianity off on the wrong foot. So please, let's stop referring to him as a saint.